Lauren Copland is just days away from being homeless.
I can't sleep. I've told myself not to cry, and I've decided not to break down because I never thought I would be in this situation. When Tuesday morning comes, I have absolutely no idea where I'm going to go with Noah, or where we're going to stay, or how I'm going to put a roof over our heads.
She's spending about $800 a week to stay in this caravan park, and for the last 7 days she's been desperately searching for a permanent place to rent, and she's almost run out of money.
It's ridiculous. I apply all the time. I go to inspections all the time. I will go to an inspection, even go home like an hour later to go and apply, and I've already got an email to say, oh, it's been leased. So some of the places, you don't even have a chance to apply for them. Look, there's Sonic in there.
Lauren and her son moved into the caravan park about 2 weeks ago after they were evicted from their home.
With my eviction, it was under a frustrated agreement, which was when two parties can't come to a mutual agreement.
Lauren first raised issues about the condition of the house in 2020 and eventually took the agent and landlord to the South Australian Civil Tribunal. 20 days after the first hearing, she was ordered to move out.
I honestly think that because I needed repairs, I don't think they liked that at all, and it was easier to evict us.
The real estate agent who ordered Lauren and her son to move out says she was not evicted due to the tribunal proceedings, and the landlord did respond to all maintenance requests.
Disputes between tenants and landlords are not uncommon. In fact, up to 100,000 cases between tenants and landlords are listed in state and territory courts and tribunals every year. But with vacancy rates at record lows and rents continuing to increase, the stakes in these disputes have never been higher.
Real estate agent Samantha Gathram-Goss became disillusioned with the way her tenants were treated during the darkest days of the pandemic.
How are you going?
Hi.
I'm Samantha.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I struggled a lot during COVID, having people lose their jobs and being unable to, help them. Obviously, as an agent, our responsibility typically lies with the owner, but I do believe it takes two to tango, and in some circumstances there wasn't a whole lot of cooperation from one or both parties, and that led to some fairly poor outcomes, whereas I wanted to step into something where I felt everyone shared a similar mindset on fairness and equality.
She now works for an agency that seeks ethical landlords. The agency rents properties at 10% below the market rate and donates management fees to a charity which houses low-income Australians.
Several years ago, it was unusual to have people applying for properties that were well outside of their affordability. Now we're seeing an increased number of people applying for properties at 40, 50%, sometimes more of their income. What we do with the affordable housing is offer an alternative for the owners that wish to take an extra step and provide affordable homes.
Thomas and Katrina purchased their apartment 5 years ago. They're all too happy to rent it for less than they'd get on the open market.
It's not just some investment item that we're talking about. It's something that someone's going to actually have to live in and try and build their life in. And it makes a huge difference how it's actually run.
Rather than make the world a little worse, we wanted to make the world a little better.
Up in the well-heeled hills of Sydney, Andrew Duggan says he's also been doing it tough.
I think the last 5-6 years has been stressful for us in this space, yeah.
So how many houses do you own?
7.
And have you considered putting the rent up in any of them?
So we've been putting the rent up a little bit. The good times for landlords, are not there right at the moment.
He says because of changes to tenancy law in Queensland that make it harder to evict tenants and new property taxes, his portfolio is much less lucrative.
See, landlords have got next to no rights at all now, and tenants are getting all the rights. I'm not a charity, that's absolutely certain. We're unable to increase rents to match the rate of increase of land tax.
There are lots of really good private landlords, and of course there are lots of great organisations and great government agencies that provide affordable rental housing. But the problem that we have is that for the most part, renters just haven't been valued.
Laws differ across the country, but New South Wales Housing Trust CEO Michelle Adair argues that housing in Australia is seen as a means of making money, not providing shelter.
1 in 3 people rent a home today, and probably 9 out of 10 Australians rent at some stage. And yet we have had decades of government policy that just really disregards the rights of tenants and their safety and security.
Michelle Adair says her organisation is trying to access tax concessions, which would provide an incentive for landlords to offer up rentals at a more affordable price. But the process is shrouded in red tape.
So those rules and those arrangements are already in place, but they take quite a lot of money and quite a lot of time and effort to establish. So that is the sort of quick fix, short-term measure that the federal government could enact straight away.
Michelle was once homeless, but she says she's never been more concerned for the future of renters.
Everybody is experiencing a rental housing crisis, and nobody has ever seen anything like it before.
I don't feel secure at all. Going into another private rental, I could be in the same position in 12 months' time.